Hello guys, welcome back to another AFL video. This time we do our round 3 recap. And again, another good round of football, couple of good upsets, couple of good teams that went up in my rating system. So if you like the video, please like and subscribe. Let's get straight into it. So we'll go to the Thursday night between the Bulldogs and the Lions. Another disappointing game by my team, but a good win by Western Bulldogs, who were under the pump. Jamara had a great game, kicked 5, I think, but kind of a scrappy affair. Couple of free kicks that I don't think were there. Lions, who knows what's going on with the Lions? One, to beat Melbourne in round 2 and then to, kick less than 60 points against the Bulldogs. So bit of work for the Lions to do. Another tough week coming up on Thursday. So good win there by the Bulldogs to take some heat off Bevo. Then on the Friday night we had another dour game between Collingwood and Richmond. Collingwood should have won by more than this. This didn't really reflect the game. Collingwood, I think they kicked about 15 points or something. Had all the ball. They should have won by 6 or 7 goals. So they're still flying, Collingwood. So it's always good when you don't play your best football, but you still get the W. Richmond are in a little bit of the world of hurt at the moment. So yeah, but Collingwood definitely playing well. Then a great win by Hawthorn. I actually picked Hawthorn against North Melbourne. Only because of their practice round that they had against Collingwood. They looked like a different team than their first couple of rounds. I think they improved something like 57 marks for this game. North have got some good players. LDU was out, so that doesn't help. But good win by Hawthorn, and also they played in Tasmania, so Hawthorn always play well down there for some reason. So good win by Hawthorn, and then we went to Carlton and Giants. Giants just couldn't do anything right. Carlton again. Carlton aren't playing exceptional football, but again, if you don't play your best and you're still getting the wins, that's a good sign. And I think they've got quite an easy draw coming for the next 3. So Carlton could be 6-0. And like I said, they still haven't got their forwards worked out yet. Harry Mackay, I think he's only kicked 2 goals in the first 3 rounds or something like that. So he needs to start picking up. I think he's the worst rated player in the AFL at the moment. And there's a couple that you would think that would be below him. But good win by Carlton, so they are going along quite well. St Kilda, another great win by St Kilda. Who would have thunk it that St Kilda would be 3-0 at the start of the year? Nobody. But they're really playing a good brand of football. They remind me of the Swans, that tough, compromising tackle, uncompromising, tackle everything, run hard in defence, run hard in attack. And they're still missing. They don't have a forward line, but they seem to be just doing the job. Essendon were brought back to earth. Okay, Essendon are definitely playing better than last year, but I think that they should be having playing better with the team that they've got. They've got a bit of talent at Essendon, but they seem to not perform. But anyway, another good win by the Saints. Then we went to the showdown. Port against Adelaide. Now Port had a great win against us in the first round. They looked fantastic, but ever since then they've looked a bit dour. Great win by Adelaide Crows. Adelaide Crows are sneaking up, so they've got a real good chance of making the 8. They've got some really good talent, and they had the last quarter. Was it the last quarter? They just blew Port off the map. So great win by Adelaide. Got a lot of good little players and really starting to move the ball, and their transition play is really good. So good win by Adelaide. And then the upset of the round. I thought this might be a danger game for Geelong. The Suns have got a bit of a reputation for this sort of stuff. They can't beat the low teams, but they always beat two top teams per year for some reason. But I watched the game. The Suns looked on from the first bounce. First minute, they look quick, and Geelong are just not playing the way that we expect them to play. They're fumbly, and they're making terrible decisions. Their kicking is horrendous at the moment. If it wasn't for Jeremy Cameron, they would be absolutely getting smashed at the moment. But it's good to see the Suns have a good win over the reigning premier. So good for Stewie Jew to get a bit of pressure taken off him. And they actually played really well. And the coaches had a great game, had five goals. Rao, I thought last week was his best game, but he actually played better again. So I just hope that he keeps going forward like that. He looks bigger, he looks fitter as well, and he's starting to have a lot more impact, which is great for him. Then we went to the MCG, and my favourite, the D's, against the Swans. Swans, I thought, would be a little bit more competitive, but you can see they're playing Melbourne. See, this is why it's so hard in the first couple of rounds. You've got Brisbane beat Melbourne last week, Brisbane get flogged this week, and then Melbourne come out and beat the Swans, who I rate highly. So an amazing game, another tough, brutal, fast, quick game by Melbourne. Oliver is just an out and out superstar. I think he's the best player in the league. He could, if he didn't play for Melbourne, he would have won the last two Brownlows. But because they're in a good team, you've got Gawn, you've got Petrarca, they're always taking votes off each other. So, but he's definitely my number one player at the moment, Oliver. He looks fantastic. Swannies, you can't knock their effort, all right? So, I'm not writing off the Swans, but they would be pretty disappointed with that last quarter. And then we had our last game of the round where the West Coast Eagles got hit by an ambulance, and Fremantle actually started to go down the middle and take on the game and start using their leg speed. So, admittedly, it helps when, West Coast Eagles lost 7 players or 8 players, but they definitely looked better, Fremantle. But all credit to West Coast, they put up a good fight. And it was quite close, even at three-quarter time. I think it was only 2 points or something. But that attrition just took it away from them, and Fremantle kicked away. Still not sold on Fremantle, which they're a bit like the Lions, which team, a bit like Port, which team's going to show up. So, but anyway, that gets them on the board and takes a bit of pressure off Longyear. So, there we go. We'll have a quick look at the ladder. We've still got St Kilda on top with the 3-0, which is interesting, and Collingwood the only other team to not have dropped the game. But probably the biggest story out of the round is Geelong 3-0. So I had a look at a few stats. If you start the season 3-0, only 6% of teams make finals. And then if they go 4-0, it's almost impossible. It drops down to something like 1%. And that's like in the last 40, 50 years of a bit of 30, about 35 years of having the top 8. So Geelong have got a lot of problems. Lions have got a lot of problems. Port have got a lot of problems. But again, I said last week that there was about 6 teams that are in the top tier. I still believe that, but there's definitely 2 teams now that are well above everybody. That's Collingwood and Melbourne. So Collingwood, Melbourne in a higher tier, and then still Sydney, Carlton, Brisbane, and well, I've got to drop out Geelong now. So I think Adelaide's a bit of a smoky. If they keep developing the way that they are, if it's not going to be this year, it's definitely next year. If they can keep producing and getting good wins and doing what they're doing, within the next couple of years, I can see them being a really good team. But anyway, there we go. So I'll do my tipping video probably tonight, so that should be out tonight. But there we are with the recap for round 3. Like I said, like and subscribe, and please leave a comment about your team or what. Also, the descent rule. Does anyone have any comments on what they're doing with the descent rule now? All right, there we go. Have a good day. Like I said, we'll do the video on the tipping, and we'll catch you in the next one. See you later.